That's it, folks. It says we're live. I'm hoping it's happening just correctly as always. I know I'm a moment late here, but that's because I've got an incredible quilt on the wall, which we will get to a little bit later on in the show as we do our show and tell. Happy Friday Fun Day, everybody. My name is Rob Appell. I'm making sure my microphone is working. Let's see how everyone's doing out there. This is a super fun and awesome day. This is Friday Fun Day live at Stitchin Heaven's YouTube channel. If you're just stumbling across the video today, welcome. If you're one of my new friends that I met over the last few days up in Oakdale and Sonoma and all of those wonderful places we were at, thank you for logging in today. If you're watching during Andrew's class, I don't blame you. You're probably burned out on that guy by now. I'm not, so we're going to talk about Andrew Lee, the Combat Quilter. But as we're getting started, let me just say welcome to everybody. We do have, that's right, now we hit the 66,000 subscriber mark. Super blessed, super pumped. Thank you all. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so now. Make sure you smash that like button, but most importantly, you share the videos across social media. Send these links across Facebook and Instagram and those places because it really helps the messaging and really helps the brand grow. In today's show, I really want to talk a lot about this quilt that's on the wall and kind of how I acquired it just over a day or two ago, and I want to talk about the quilt now that's on the table. This is an ongoing and growing project that I'm very excited about. Let's blow through our announcements as well. We also have an awesome Facebook group, and we're almost at 2.8, maybe even there now, subscribers there. Also, you just need to go ahead and get through the login questions as well. I can tell I'm distracted today. I'm sorry, folks. I'm very pleased you're all communicating with each other. I chose to turn off my monitor across the room, hoping that would help things flow smoothly. But now I want to make sure I'm playing along to see what you're all doing there. Hello, Mary. I just saw that as well. So at any rate, I'll try not to be overly distracted in looking at the comments. I've got an early coffee going that might actually help me settle down. Believe it or not, they say that helps with guys like me. So I am going to enjoy. I've got links in the description today, folks. Got a couple new ones down there I think you'll really enjoy, including some of the links to the videos. We also have the Bonnie Hunter Mystery in full effect. So if you'd like to get the Bonnie Hunter Mystery Quilt Kit from us at Stitchin Heaven in Quitman, Texas, please go ahead. There's links in the description you can follow. And really exciting, tomorrow, November 16th, will be Customer Appreciation Day. That's right. If you're in town, please swing by. We're having all kinds of fun demos and bingo and prizes and chili cook-off and all kinds of great stuff. It's going to be super exciting, and we would just absolutely love to have you come by. There may be some things going on online as well. I won't make any promises because I don't really know the answer today. I've been distracted. But do check out our website tomorrow. I believe we may have some specials for you there as well. Speaking of checking things out, this week's tutorial, not much of a thumbnail, but boy, was I interested in helping Deb figure out what was going on with the Burnett. This was the new machine that just came out. It's kind of like an industrial straight stitcher. It is actually very, very similar to my handy quilter HQ510, and that was part of what we wanted to compare the differences. One of the things I was really interested in with, and you'll be able to check out the videos out there, so if you haven't seen it, please watch it, but we were really pursuing some of these different presser feet. Now this is the foot that basically comes along with the machine. This is mine. I've marked the lines for 1/4 inch and things over time with a Sharpie. This little micro stitcher, look at this thing. I thought this would be just amazing. And Deb was very interested. She's been doing some very thick and heavy bag work. She's doing it using a lot of the soft and stable and using the patterns by Annie's patterns. I am finding that the use, look at this little foot. This was another foot I picked up to be an industrial foot with a really close ability to do our straight stitching. So that little foot there I'm loving right now, but I'm loving it because I'm not a bag maker. I'm loving it for this awesome project right here. This is our English paper piecing, but if you haven't seen the first video where I was doing it out of my car, let me go to overhead. And what I really have back here now are it's a fusible interfacing. I'm using the fusible interfacing so that I can press the pieces over, and then I'm just pressing the fabric to the glue on the interfacing. The interfacing will stay there, and I have a follow-up video coming up where we're going to discuss a lot of the questions that have developed since the first video. But what's happened is I have all this I plan to leave, and I will leave the interfacing in there. So I'm just doing a real fine little stitching, and I'm doing it from the top. No, I'm doing it not as the top, but as 2 layers pinched together, and just this really fine right along the edge stitching. And I will tell you what, that little foot I was just showing you on the machine is doing awesome. So I'm really excited. It's always fun when you start pursuing knowledge and you find that there's solutions out there for a lot of other things. This particular project, maybe we'll just continue talking about this real quick. I had thought that it might be easiest to put all of my pieces, my hexagons, together in rows and then machine stitch them now in the rows, and I can confirm that it has worked very nicely. I did build these quarters in sections off of the diagram, and it was nice because I could put them in whichever angles I needed once the different groups and sections were built. So I will be doing, like I said, a follow-up tutorial that's scheduled for a few weeks from now, and it should be awesome for everybody, and really excited about it. But it's going very, very smoothly, and this was something I got to spend a bunch of time sewing on in the last few days as well. All right, so as we're going through our announcements, let's see what else we have coming up. Oh, that's right, December 5, 6, and 7. Sign up now if you have not already for the Quitman Sewing Expo. That happens right there in Stitchin Heaven at our wonderful warehouse and retail location. We're gonna have tons of vendors coming out to spend the weekend with us and talking to us about a bunch of different fantastic products that are available. Put your hands on them. We also have the mystery quilt along that is coming up on January 1st. There are still some of the pre-cut kits available. I do not know how many. You may register to participate with email. It is free with an email address so that we can put your name in the prize drawings, and we can communicate and get you the patterns and the free soup recipe. If you haven't participated in the past several years, it's a mystery quilt along. Tiffany Hayes and myself will be teaching. We have new t-shirts this year, slightly new designs. We still have our names on the back of them, so you can be a carefree quilter like myself or a passionate for precision style quilter like Tiffany, and it's super fun. 2 different kits, colors. You can work out of your stash, of course, if you'd like to. It's just a great way of getting together and sewing. And with that, we've planned a second one. So yes, save the dates. I started mentioning these, and I apologize. I don't know that the graphics are online. They may have just gone online because I was talking to Dana a little bit ago before I got involved with setting up for today's video. So it may already be on stitchinheaven.com, if not in the very, very near future. The virtual quilt along for a project I'm calling the, oh, well, I don't need to tell you. I can just go grab it. Excuse me. Glowing Checkered Star. Then that's coming up on that April date. And that, whoops. I just turned off all my lights. Uh-oh. I bumped it with a quilt. We'll see. Hopefully you're all still there. Anyways, Glowing Checkered Star is the name of the project. It's not a mystery. It's going to be a super fun sew along, and I'm considering doing it in a bunch of different colors because I've got this Willy Wonka flavor feeling I'm really excited about in working with those projects. So anyways, that's the virtual quilt along, and then we'll do a wacky and wonderful quilting retreat in Texas, August 6th through 10th. And virtual sew along will be free. The retreat, of course, will be a registration fee, and we'll have more of that information coming up in the very cool near future. There will be 5 lucky winners with golden tickets to the retreat event, so do stay tuned, and please keep those dates on your calendar right now so that you don't overbook yourselves. That would make me feel so sad. Okay, now, like I said, as we're bouncing through the information, I think I actually did it real quick. Turning off the lights did shock me there a moment ago. Sorry, that was a little bit odd. So one of the things that was really exciting, I just got a fun photograph in. You know, we like to do a quilter show and tell here on the Friday Fun Day Live. You can submit your photos for show and tell, and I may make up a story for you. I may just put your quilt on the screen. So here is a quilt. Come on. Uh-oh, there it goes. Now look at that quilt. And even better, look at the title. Thank you, Lloyd. This is, oh, I said photo. Sorry, I was going fast. Photo of second quilt completed. So I got an email from Lloyd stating this was made for a mother-in-law, the second quilt that had been completed, and also the mother-in-law lives in Morro Bay where I live. And I thought that was super, super cool to see that. So I was excited. Thank you, Lloyd, for sending in that quilt. And if you want to send in your quilts, of course, you can just email me, rob@stitchinheaven.com, and just put your name in there so I know who to compliment in video. If you want to give me a bit of a story, I will try to repeat it, but you know we've got lots going on here on screen each and every super cool show. Now, I mentioned I wanted to talk about this quilt. It's going to tie into the Grateful List, but let's start here. The quilt's a little hard to see the way I have it displayed, so I shot a video right before we went live, and let me see, I want to make sure, where did I just put that thing? It's here for us somewhere, folks. Here it is. Okay, so here's a close-up, but let me tell you the story before we get into the quilt. So yes, I have spent the last few days hanging out with Andrew Lee. He had come out from Tennessee. He went to Houston, where he was on display with his big, beautiful quilts at Quilt Festival and Quilt Market. Then he came to Oakdale, California, where he worked with a couple different quilt guilds and the Blossom Quilt Shop in Oakdale, and we had a blast. And you know me, anytime I can hang out with one of my quilting buddies, I do my best to get there. Now, while I was there, I kept talking about how awesome Yosemite is, and I love to go to Yosemite. And just a few weeks from now, I will be going to Yosemite again, as the family always does, for Thanksgiving. And Oakdale, if you're not aware, is very near Yosemite. And so anyways, this quilt here is a quilt that was designed by a gal named Linda Schmidt. Let me just check the label, folks. This is why we should always have labels on our quilts. Make sure I have it right. Yeah, it was completed January 7, 2020. Okay, and the quilt was then put into a raffle or a fundraiser. A woman named Jessica won the project, and then because she heard of my affinity of Yosemite, plus my affinity for applique, she thought this quilt might better serve in my life. And anytime a quilt is gifted, it just takes on a whole new story, a whole new thing. And so I'm really excited. It's incredibly well put together. So I have a video. Let me see if this helps you all see it better. Okay, friends, this might be the easiest way to see this quilt here from Yosemite is via B-roll, we call this. So this is an incredible quilt. It is appliqued, and it has a bunch of wonderful different textures in it. Let's start from the sky. Not only is it impeccably quilted, but at each of those cross sections, there's like a rhinestone. I'm hoping you can see the sparkle that creates. And then there's a bunch of different like silks and lamés put down the waterfall. This is Yosemite Falls. And then as we come down into the trees, there's some trapunto work on the applique of the trees. And there's also the fine green mesh just over the trees. So it holds the applique pieces down, but it also gives a really nice textured effect. This quilt is incredibly well done, and I am now the proud owner of it. So super awesome, Linda Schmidt. Thank you so much for donating this. And now I am super excited to have it myself. All right. So isn't that amazing? So yeah, and I hope that made it a little easier for you to see. And even with all the different lighting on it and stuff, there's all the different beautiful textures, and there's some silks and all kinds of different things in here. And it's just incredibly well done. And so very special to me now to have this quilt. And it was fun because I decided I kind of like the theme of people were giving quilts away like crazy the last few days. You mentioned Lloyd giving the quilt to the mother-in-law. Jessica also apparently was just cleaning out her sewing room. No, I'm just teasing Jessica. But also this quilt reminded her a lot of me. And it was a fun quilt she did, if I remember correctly, as a jelly roll race. And then she added to it. And of course, this is just a super fun and happy quilt. And anytime, like I said, someone gives you a quilt, it's just so special and so meaningful. And this is a really fun one. So anyways, great. Jessica, thank you so much for considering me in a safe place to keep your quilts stored for the future. Now, I kind of want to finish out the rest of our day if we can with the Grateful List, but the Grateful List is going to be primarily a recap of the adventure I just had over the last few days with Andrew. So let me go ahead and bring it up. Folks, if you've just tuned into the show for the very first time, just remember some of the things that we can do outside of quilting and sewing to improve our mental health. And remember, I'm no doctor or psychologist. I have just met with several. But nonetheless, I'm just trying to say that oh no, I forgot what I was trying to say. Isn't that silly? Oh, working with our hands is a great form of therapy. Being part of all of this community is a great form of therapy. So working with this stuff is awesome, and being grateful and remembering what your grateful for outside of working with your hands. That was the point I started to make as I was reading these wonderful comments as well. Okay, so here we go with the grateful list for today. We have 4 on there, and yes, I was able to do it again. I think I'm in 5 or 6 weeks in a row, at least with the word pals. We went from old pals to new pals, but yes, we once again have new pals because I traveled this week and I always meet new folks, and that's so fun. So here's a couple of photos from the week. I'll just kind of do the rundown. So here we are literally last night at about 8:30. I had a 4-hour drive, so I got in about 1 a.m. this morning. And there's Tracy and Sherry, and you see Andrew over there in the corner, and we're sitting at the little table showing off quilts and talking about stuff. And with those new pals, it was really fun because as I got there, so we're going to now bounce into a road trip, which is part 2 of the grateful list this week. It goes into also the fact that I had brought the patterns along with me for the Bird of Paradise project, and then there were some folks there that decided they wanted to let me try to tattoo birds of paradise on them. If you are not aware, I'm a licensed tattoo artist and I travel with my tattoo machines and equipment as well. So I did that bird of paradise and was very excited about the coloring and the way it turned out. Let me see if I can bring you in a little closer. A little bit bigger shot there. And then the following day, there was a gal who decided she wanted a bird of paradise with a hummingbird. And so again, really enjoying the coloring and the technique and the proving. Here's a little bit of a close-up. Now that hummingbird there is really important, and it was a memorial to the grandfather who was a giant 49ers fan. Apparently that hummingbird there is the Montana rice species that was discovered in the Bay Area in around the mid-90s. So anyway, some more coloring and just a lot of fun I had with that project. And then of course Tracy, the owner of Blossom Quilting, has allowed me to start a sewing related theme on her arm, and we are just going to have an incredibly good time with that. Going through the photos while I narrate, Andrew Lee and myself hanging out at the first night of the Quilt Guild, just goofing off. And that's one of the things we love is our shenanigans. Here we are getting pictures as the room's getting settled in and having lots of fun. Of course, we were wearing our All-Stars jersey on day 1, but we've upgraded to some workout uniforms. So now we are rolling as the Russian Mob. That's day 2 there, matched, dressed for success. Also, check out his quilts. If you're not aware of who Andrew Lee is, the Combat Quilter, incredible quilts. Those are pixelated quilts in the background that he has created. And he was working so very hard while he was there. Well, at least that was his story. Apparently he got a little tuckered out. He got a little too tired from all that teaching he was doing. He said he was after hours, but I never really checked the clock. Oh yeah, it is breakfast time. Combat Quilter, Andrew Lee, and we're just having a good old time outside of Blossom Quilting, Oakdale, California. And we're getting ready to, well, Andrew's gonna teach. I'm just here to be his personal chef, driver, and sidekick. Hit up a Quilt Guild tonight. How is that stuff?
Dude, this is amazing.
Right? Nice. And while Andrew was there, of course, he was also making incredible quilted jackets. He loves to take jackets and cut them up and making them into some quilts. There's some there you see, excuse me, did I just say jackets and cut them into quilts? Oh my gosh, I am tired still. Anyway, I think you're following along. Check out the one in the blues and the greens there. That one's really fun. It has the hood on it as well, which was really awesome. And my very favorite part about traveling with Andrew is it seems like no matter where we go, he somehow finds somebody who has served our country as a member of the armed forces or a first responder like Glinda here, and the fire department she has served with for many years. She's retired firefighter, just taking up quilting, and it's kind of hard to tell, but Andrew is just draping her with a quilt of valor, something that was made and given and gifted to her in honor of her service. So folks, that has just got to be one of the best things that you can really do with quilts, and I think that's what I was so inspired by. There were a lot of quilts given away over the last few days for a lot of reasons, and it was just so special and so touching to be part of all of that. So anyways, it was great. I do apologize. I am a little tired. I got home pretty late last night. I wasn't planning to stay as long as I did up there, but I didn't realize we had 2 guild meetings a couple of days apart. and I really was having so much fun. Part of what I did, and here's let's go into the rest of the grateful list, is ground score. The last or the third one here is ground score, and for me, my ground score just the day before I went off to retreat, I was at a yard sale and I found and it doesn't seem like it'd be very exciting, but man, I'll tell you, if you're a quilter, a brand new tote for free. It was given to me by the yard sale people for free. Now the lid fits, the latches work pretty well still, so I mean that was pretty great. The best part, folks, is all my other bins were totally full at the moment, and I wanted to take my hexagon project with me because while Andrew was really teaching his quilting classes, I was sewing and working on all the prep work for this so I could get the video ready in the next couple of weeks. So it was so fun to have my ground score here. This was another blessing. Like I said, we stopped at a friend's yard sale, and even though it doesn't seem like much, if you're a quilter, you know the value of a good tote, and you especially know the value of a good tote when it's free of charge and all you have to do is blow a little bit of sand and dirt out of the bottom. You are ready to rock and roll. So I was really excited about that ground score. And as I was actually prepping the video for today, I don't mean to sound like such an advertiser, but I often forget, folks, check this out. Today only, it's hard to see. Let me put that I just got so many buttons today. Check out this slide. Okay, in the corner while I was on stitchinheaven.com, popped up the midnight special. So half off right now, so they're $22.50 are the Guggenheim scissors. And I absolutely love these scissors. They are steel, obviously, and they're coated. So the grip, it's got like that rubberized feel. It's soft. They are incredibly heavy and solid and sharp. I've been using them for a couple of years. Many of you remember when Anita's husband had done something like maybe change the oil with her favorite baking dish or something like that. He had to apologize, and so he got her these wonderful Guggenheim scissors, and we fell in love with them at Stitchin Heaven. So they're not just for garment making. They work great for all kinds of things. And so when I noticed that popped onto my screen today, I wanted to make sure that all of you faithful followers noticed half off of $50 is half off of $50. That's pretty rad, and I was stoked about that. So that's another thing from ground score. Maybe it's an interground score or interweb score, but do check out our flash sales. Make sure you're signed up for our newsletters and our email lists and our event lists and all of those kinds of things. I really don't want you to miss any of this stuff, folks. And I believe, like I was starting to say, the last of all four things I was grateful for is, and you can kind of read it both ways. It does say quilting retreats, but maybe it's just retreating away with quilters. I'm not exactly sure what it is I'm trying to say, other than I had so much fun, again, getting to know this wonderful group of ladies and all of their friends, getting to see somebody like Glinda receive her wonderful quilt, and boy was she a hoot, getting to listen to Andrew do his presentation to all of these folks. But then also they were talking about a event where they all go together and get away, and so I had so much fun getting away and spending a day, even though I wasn't in a real workshop. I was sitting amongst folks in their workshop and working on my project, so that felt really great. Next week, starting on Tuesday, I have my quilting retreat that happens here once a year in Cambria, California. I was advertising it a few months ago, and we're really excited. There'll be about 37, 38 of us gathering together starting from next Tuesday through Sunday. So this has just been a really exciting, and we're all feeling that creative passion, that energy building up again as we're getting into all of these events this season. And I'm just really excited, and I'm really blessed to be spending a bunch of that time with all of you. Thank you again. I know many of you have already signed up for the things like the virtual sew along, the New Year's Day mystery quilt, some of the retreats that happen actually in Texas, or maybe the quilting cruises. That's right, the quilting cruises. Folks, I forgot, Stephanie's along. Quilting cruises. Stephanie Feeder, Stephanie from Stephanie Stitches, is going as an ambassador on our Quilters of the Caribbean cruise. I'm hoping she's telling all of you and inviting you all. If not, I am. It was really exciting. We were able to get her. I had to beg her to go. But anyway, so she said she would get out there and travel with the Stitchin Heaven team a little bit and make sure all of you had fun. So if you're already on that cruise, I think it's like January 26th through February 2, something like that. Registrations may still be open because there are a few seats available, but it's just really exciting. We're having so much fun building out this community. We had a blast with Stephanie on the first Patriot cruise we did. I believe she's traveling on the next Patriot cruise with Quilting Marine, Combat Quilter, and myself, a bunch of other folks that you may know from the industry as well. So we're just, it's growing. It's just really growing, and I feel so blessed, folks. So if you're not aware and you have the time available and you want to go on a cruise, get out of the cold weather in January, I'm talking to you, Tiffany, go on down, hang out with Stephanie, and it's going to be a great tour. That's all on our website as well. Sorry, that's making me nervous now. That's all on the website at stitchinheaven.com. Check that out, folks. And I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. I'm just going to scroll through my notes here today. I think we've got it. So I'm going to go ahead and check the comments and the questions. I see ACJ is back. That is awesome. And I saw Carl was out there and Stephanie was out there and Nancy. Oh, Nancy, did you see those little feet in the beginning of the video that would be great for your handy quilter? So I don't know if we'll be able to get them available at Stitchin Heaven. I actually went online and found them. I shouldn't be saying that. They come with the Burnett, and that was part of what we were playing with in the video. But I got inspired and started researching to see if I could find the feet elsewhere because I don't have the Burnett. I have the handy quilter for the same reasons and the same features. And even though I love new toys and new tools, I've already got my stickers on this one. So I just didn't really quite see the reason to upgrade for myself. Oh, and if you're watching that video also, I asked you all to comment below about if you thought I could sell Deb one of the sewing machines. I wish I would have rephrased the question because I asked if you all thought, and I should have just asked if you all knew I could sell Deb the machine. I guess you just got your answer there anyways. Let me do a quick questions check. Make sure I haven't missed any questions today, folks. If you're afraid I'm going to miss your question, just type it again. I'll find it at the bottom of the comments. Oh, hey, Ingrid, it looks like Ingrid's out there and Deborah Brown's out there as well. And Becky, fantastic, folks. Thanks again for being here. I hope you're all getting ready to have a blessed weekend yourselves. Yeah, isn't that quilt incredible? Yeah, here, let's do this. Let's put it on so you can see that quilt a little bit better while I'm going through these comments. Oh, okay, Deborah Brown. Here's a question. Do you know when the New Year quilt kits will be mailed? I do not know, but I believe we shoot for about December 1st-ish. The Expo, so they may go out right after Expo. Our goal is to make sure that you have them in plenty of time. But remember, if you're getting kits from us this year, they're pre-cut, so you don't actually have any homework. So you really, you could have them on your doorstep on the 31st of December, but nobody likes that, especially with the holidays and all of that. So my guess is right around the 1st of December, the kits should start shipping out. And even if you're not interested in a kit, you can still just get a shirt because we have more shirts available and we can re-get those faster than we can rebuild the kits because the kits, again, are pre-cut. So that was one of the reasons we want to make sure everybody had what they needed. Oh no, I just found a spot I was looking across my quilt and I think I found a gap. I found a gap. Let me get a clip real quick. Sorry, squirrel. That's one of the disadvantages of that micro little top stitching. Oh no, now where did it go? Where was it? There it is. Okay. Sorry, folks, squirrel, but I have to do that or I will have a hole in my quilt later. And we'll talk about that in the follow-up video again. Okay, back to the questions. Oh, good. Thank you, Stephanie, for putting that in there. Yes, registration's still open. Quilters of the Caribbean. Sail with Stephanie. She is a hoot. She's going on recon to find all the best places to hang out during the Patriot cruise. And again, to get you warmed up, if you haven't cruised with Stitchin Heaven before, she is an expert cruiser. Stephanie will make sure you know exactly the best ways to take advantage of not only the quilting portion, but all the nightlife, all the excursions, all of that kind of stuff. There you go, Stephanie. Pressure's on, but I know you can handle it, love. Okay, how much is the Burnett? Okay, so ACJ, the Burnett B08, I want to say it lists out at like $24.99 maybe, and I think we might have it at a slight discount on Stitchin Heaven. There's a link from on that video. I don't have it today in the video description, but there's a link, ACJ, Jenny, on the YouTube tutorial when Deb and I are talking about the machine. That'll take you right to our landing page where you could order it if you'd like to from us that way. The Burnett machines we can ship online. We can ship with online orders as well. And so that's one of the reasons that there's a link there for you. So, and I think it might be like 22 or something right now. I apologize for not knowing off the top of my head. All right. Where is the store located? Okay, so the store location is out in Quitman, Texas. That's East Texas, near Tyler, if you're aware, a couple hours from Dallas. And then I travel a lot. So today I'm standing in California. I'm hoping that's safe to say again. Often I'm out in Texas as well. So we do the retreats and a lot of the events either in Quitman, Texas, or we also do cruising events and we do Land Ahoy events. And those are the retreat style events that happen off site. And that's what I was saying are just so wonderful when I get into quilting retreats. It's a great thing to do with folks to get away and travel, because when we're not working on the actual workshops, there's so much collaboration and camaraderie that goes on, and discussion of projects and just creativity, life in general, and it's just so fun. So at any rate, I hope that helps. Are they beginner friendly? Laura, I'm not sure if beginner friendly, it refers to the retreats or to the quilt projects. Most of our quilting projects are beginner friendly, and a lot of the retreats we do are definitely beginner friendly because we have an instructor there to work with you the whole time. And the mystery quilt kits, they're designed to be beginner friendly, but there's sometimes a lot of construction because we want to offer something that can be something that you get a free class on and then you can work on over time if you want. I don't know about this one. I might feel like the rumors are out, or maybe the judgment's out on this quilt. This is the one, oh, sorry, let me go back to main cam. So this is the one that I'll be doing in April. And there's a checkerboard on point in there, but we're doing some strip piecing. So I don't think it's all that complicated, but it may be a little bit more intermediate level, if that was what you were asking, Laura. I hope that helps. Oh no, ACJ, you didn't. I'm just afraid, ACJ, you just go ahead and return the shirt and tell them there's no way you want to sew that precisely. I tried to sew on the Arabella quilt wearing the precision shirt and it didn't help one bit. So ACJ, do not take the risk. Stay carefree. Andrew Lee will be wearing the Team Tiffany shirt. He loves it. He's precise. He can handle it. Don't go through that stress, my dear friend. Don't go through that dear stress. We'll get you the right shirt. Oh, that is fun. Okay. I believe I've gotten most of the questions answered, I hope. You're welcome for doing these lives, Laura. I love doing them myself. Oh, Jennifer, I caught your question at the last second here about an open toe foot for a Grace long arm. I believe when it comes to a long arm machine, they're all considered high shank. I hope I'm not incorrect. So that should serve as the yes, generic feet should be able to fit on long arm machines, or non-branded feet should be able to fit on long arm machines because they're high shank. Generally, the machine's foot, always best from the manufacturer, but if you know if you're a high shank or a low shank, you should be able to get a supplemental foot that's not from the manufacturer. Here's the key, folks. Whenever changing out parts and pieces with your machine, please just take a second once you have everything put back together and just do a little bit of hand rotating, no thread in the machine. Make sure that your needle and your feet and your bobbin and all of those things, all of the metal working parts are still running smoothly. and that would confirm that you have the correct or appropriate pieces. If you had tried to jam a high shank foot onto a low shank machine, you would no longer be able to put the presser foot up or down. So those would be some indicators. And when they talk about the shank, maybe I can go to the camera here again. The shank is basically this height here, up and down along this space where you put your screw into that spot right there. So this one is taller than a low shank machine. And I apologize, I don't really have a low shanker. Well, if you want to stand by for a second, I can pop it off my little featherweight back here, or my, excuse me, my model 99. Let's see, stand by, coming in. Okay, so there's your difference, folks, between the height of a high shank and a low shank foot. I don't know if that helps, but you can see maybe back to back. Does that help? You can see where that screw hole should go. Okay, good questions today, folks. Great questions. Yeah, I can see the squirrels better now, right, Mona? All right. Okay, I think I got the questions, folks. Wonderful. Oh, that was fun. Very interactive today, guys. I appreciate that. Great. Okay, so if you have other questions, of course, you could always email me, rob@stitchinheaven.com. I think I've got one of those right here for you. And do make sure you check out the recorded tutorials. Make sure you share those with your friends, especially when they're project specific that you know your friends are dying for. Like I said, oh, I almost gave away the story. When Deb got her new machine, she was wondering how to thread it, so I was able to send her the Getting to Know Your HQ510 because all of the threading and everything was basically the same. So anyways, it's really fun to have these videos out here and knowing that you're all enjoying them. Thank you again for being with me here today. I hope you all have a blessed week and weekend, and we will see you very soon. Next week's tutorial, I believe, is the Arabella Month 10 coming up, which is, we're getting really close to the end of that really cool block of the month project. We will be starting it again next year, folks. So if you've enjoyed the videos, but you didn't sew along, you might want to consider picking up a kit for that and so